Now, welcome to Let's Talk Some Skeleton Crew, where this time we'll be discussing the third episode of the new Disney Plus series. And once again, we kick it off with Naboo's thoughts, since I've already done my review and a couple other videos, I think, at this point.
Well, I'm actually surprised to say how much I've been enjoying the show. I think once you take Jedi and Sith out of the equation and you just focus on making a solid little adventure story, they're doing just fine. I think this is going over well with... I've seen a lot of comments, I should say, on our videos and other videos about how people are like, I get to watch this with my kids, with my family, and they're having a good time. And what a nice way to,
Celebrate Christmas.
Celebrate Star Wars with the rest of your family.
Yeah, I think it's a good show for younger viewers if you are a parent and you're trying to introduce your kids to Star Wars. I think this is something that might hook them even better than some of the other Disney Plus shows or even some of the movies, depending on their age.
I mean, clearly Jude Law kind of ran away with the episode this week. He is excellent on screen. His interactions with the young cast are really well done. I love his interactions with SM-33.
Yeah, I think he really elevated the show this episode. He really brought something to the table that I think it needed.
He's phenomenal as an actor, and so bringing him into this show, he's just doing his thing. It's great. Good stuff.
Yeah, it was really a really good, fun episode again. I know that's like the word everybody is using, just calling it fun, but that's kind of what it is.
That's fine.
It's fun.
Star Wars at its roots can be fun.
Well, sure. Star Wars can, it's a chameleon. It can be a few different things. It can be more serious and dark and gritty. I think it's suited very well for something like Andor. Yet at the same time, it's also suited very well for something like this that is just kind of frivolous fun.
You took Jedi and Sith out of Andor, and they wrote a solid Star Wars story. You kind of have no Jedi and Sith in this show. I mean, wink, wink, no Jedi.
Yeah.
I mean, Jad Nanawood, is he a
Crimson
Jedi?
Jack
Is he not a
Sparrow.
Jedi? Is it Christopher Jack Silver, Sparrow?
Yeah.
Same thing. We all know. Is he a Jedi? Is he not a Jedi? Is he just somebody who maybe has some Force sensitivity? Or is he just someone who's using his common sense?
Yeah, has he got some kind of trickery or some tomfoolery afoot there?
Almost lean that way. For
I
him to
kinda
walk out of
lean
the
that
tunnel
way
and go,
too.
well, there are many life forms this direction. He knows the layout of the place. He's been here before. This used to be his base.
I kind of get a feeling it's trickery, but it wouldn't shock me if he is someone who is Force sensitive, that
Maybe
has
a
never
little.
been trained and just picked up a few things, a few tricks, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, why hasn't he been using his tricks up till now? I mean, he had a mutiny against him. Couldn't he have used some tricks at that point?
Well, you got a whole crew against you. I don't know. Not even a Jedi would probably... Well, maybe a Jedi, a real Jedi. But you know what I'm saying. It's not easy to take on a group of people, no matter what your Force ability level.
True. I think it's funny that I think his name is... When they call him Crimson Jack, I think it's spelled like J-A-C-K, Jack, not like fancy Star Wars-y. But then you had... the new character, Kim, which is spelled all sorts of crazy. It's like there's a Y and an H in there and a little apostrophe. Speaking of Kim, I thought that was a crazy, awesome looking,
Yeah,
they did a seamless transition from puppet to CGI.
Yes.
Their puppetry this whole season so far has been great.
I think that's part of what I've really been enjoying is embracing the old school look and feel of Star Wars, using a lot of puppets, using on location instead. And I know the prequels, a lot of CGI before the sequels and anything, but it harkens back to simpler times and simpler movies and shows, I think. And it's really working for me.
Yeah, the practical effects have been great. I mean, the aliens, like Neil especially, have been very emotive.
Neil is there.
Yeah.
He's on screen. He's real. He's not all CGI or anything.
I was also happy that we got it right, that their planet was definitely lost back in the times of the Old Republic.
Yeah, it's been a long time, I think, since they've been on the grid, if you will. Though we don't exactly know why. We know there are like 9 treasure planets, or there were, and
they called them like
were
the
destroyed.
gems or something.
The gems of the jewels of the Old Republic.
Which would explain why they're classifying these as treasure planets if they were referred to as jewels.
Yeah.
Despite, of course, women and his friends like, our planet's boring.
Yeah, it's got nothing.
It's literally full of like analysts.
Yeah. Because it does something with the money. That has to be like you go back to the lesson they learned in episode 1 when all the kids are bored in class and they're talking about like financial stuff and it's like, why are you teaching relatively young
Yeah, they're
kids,
talking about, like,
finance.
currency
Yeah,
based
currency
on the
and
universe,
trading
and then
and-
how is the currency behind the barrier different?
How the currency behind the barrier is different from beyond it or something. It's not, there's not
yeah.
a lot you can really discern from
But
it,
how
but it's
old is the
interesting.
data they're working with? What are they currently analyzing if they don't even
I don't-
seem to know what planets still exist?
I don't think they're analyzing anything. I think there is some kind of program that the supervisor, as it's called, has, and it's a droid, and it's just been running this thing for hundreds of years, potentially.
Yeah, I want to see the supervisor because we know Fern's mom works in the office of the supervisor. That's
Yeah.
how she was introduced. And then they're like, well, I want to see the supervisor. And the droid's like, well, you don't get to see the supervisor.
Yeah, nobody gets to see
Nobody
the
sees the
supervisor.
supervisor. The droids are the only ones who talk to the supervisor, which really leans into the fact that the supervisor is a computer or a droid itself.
Yeah, it's something like that. And you get essentially brainwashed from, I hate to use that terminology, but you go to these schools, they're teaching you all this stuff that you're going to need to be an analyst or
To
whatever you
survive
might
out
be.
in the world. And
Yeah.
apparently
And
they don't really go out.
No,
in
and
the
then there's a
world.
droid security safety force that
Yep.
takes care of any sort of problems. It seems like the only problems they have are kids that go astray in the woods or something.
And
or
then they
do
just grab them and bring them back
Yeah.
to school. So
Yeah, it
no
seems like
big
there's
problem. Yeah.
little or no crime that you would need any kind of further forces to deal with.
No,
So,
their
yeah.
planet is still very interesting to me. The fact that Fern's mom works in the government and she can get no answers.
No.
And now you know Wim's dad is going to explore this. That they're going
Yeah.
to go out on their own and go, we need to figure this out. And they're kind of going to be sneaking around behind the droids' back because I think the droids really are in charge.
I think the droids are in charge.
They're the ones who dictate whatever their great work they were assigned is that probably has no meaning anymore.
I don't think it has any meaning. And there's a fun theory, and I covered it in my video yesterday, that the Sith are behind the whole planet, and that's kind of, they're using this planet to fund all their things that they've done throughout history, like the Clone
Kind of
Wars
crazy to
and
think, but maybe.
all the way up to Exegol. I don't think that's true. It's a fun theory, and I can see why people would think that, but I think they're just stuck in the past, quite literally.
But I'm eager to see where they're going, obviously.
Yeah,
I
Very
liked
intriguing.
I liked the fact that because the kids are stuck in this alternate mentality of thinking, they don't even realize that they're fighting. They're firing.
Oh, they have
the
no idea.
New Republic
The New Republic,
ships,
yeah.
Who really would be there to help them.
Yeah. Yeah, their best case scenario is to be
yeah.
rescued by the New Republic, I think.
The New Republic would actually try to help them get home.
Yeah.
Whereas Jack, we can tell, or
Jack's out for
Jode,
himself. Yeah, Jack,
Jod.
Jod.
He's got ulterior motives.
Yeah,
it's very
he
clear.
is-
He
yes.
wants to get them home, but only because he thinks their planet has treasure
Yes.
that he can then pilfer.
Yeah, and
He's
I
going
like.
after the big scores, he told his former crew member.
And as speaking of him, I like that they kind of answer the question some of us had after last week's episodes, where why didn't he? If he's a Jedi, why did he sit in the cell? And some people had this answer before, but he didn't have a ship.
Yeah.
I mean, the show literally,
They knew
it's
you
like
were
they know
gonna-
Star
yeah.
Wars fans that they're going to analyze every little scene
It was,
and piece of
it was
information.
great that they had the kids ask, like, it's good. They aren't
because that's
painting
a
the kids
fair
as
question.
stupid kids, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, just stupid kids. No, the kids are like, well, why didn't you already
Yeah.
leave?
Yeah, if you could just grab that key,
Good
why didn't
question.
you grab it before we got here?
Well, I never said I was a Jedi. Jedi don't say those things. Yeah.
Well, they don't.
He's clever. He's clever. I also am really curious about KB, like even more so at this episode because we saw KB's parents. They don't have augmentations, and they commented about how they couldn't like detect KB's life monitor. I was
Yeah.
like, ooh, what is up with KB that she has an augmentation for like the visor and clearly something connected on her head?
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll explain that. The fact that
I
she
think
can
so.
connect to machines and does binary and stuff. There's something special about KB, and I'm just curious if they're going to answer that question.
Do you think all the kids have life monitors? That is just kind of like we just keep tabs of everybody.
It could be. It could be how come they found Wim out in the woods.
Yeah, that's because that was
when
another
he was
question I
supposed
had.
to be in school.
Yeah, they like a droid just happened to find Wim out in the woods randomly in like a ditch, essentially.
Could
Big
be
ditch.
that everyone on the planet has a
I
life
think so.
monitor.
I think this planet's pretty shady, and I don't think it's anything nefarious. I think they're, as I said, stuck in
When
the
droids
past.
run things are just done the way they're done.
Yeah, this is how we do it, and you follow the rules and the laws, and that's it.
I am curious if KB will reach out to Kim again because I really liked Kim.
I think so.
I thought that was a really cool new alien. You know, reminding
an
me of
owl,
the
but yeah.
wise owl, but
Yes.
it can talk, it's sentient, it's smart. It's really it played the owl trope up right.
No, I thought it was fine. I mean, I don't know that it was like the most creative thing ever, but it worked for what it was supposed to be.
Mr. Owl, How many hyperspace jumps till we get home? Sorry. 1, 2. Sorry.
Crunch, yes. There's a lot of people have no... If you're younger, you probably have no idea what that is.
It's the Tootsie Pop commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that the show has enough intrigue. It has enough excitement. It has a little bit of everything.
It does. The intrigue has surprised me. I didn't expect to go into this show and be like, wow, I'm actually very curious about what the heck is going on.
We got some lore they're building about the Old Republic and some planets that were hidden away for reasons. I'm interested. I'm glad this is moving in the proper direction to keep...
It's been very good, yeah.
It has something for everybody.
I think so.
Like, we didn't even talk about last week when we reviewed the first 2 episodes, the fight that SM-33 had. I loved that fight scene.
Yeah, it's fine.
Where he brings himself up all tall and he's punching with these like ejector fists that punch out further, and he's got the shields and they heat him up and he burns some guy's face. I'm like, oh, dude, he's cool.
He's been good, yeah.
He's cool. And I love him. But I like that they paired him into the show because he's the one who can protect the kids.
Well, yeah, without him to counterbalance.
I mean, think about it. They like, we aren't leaving without him. We aren't leaving without him. And he didn't want to get him. Why? Because he knows,
yeah. He didn't really know that he would be protecting the kids at that point.
No, but he is the protector of those kids.
Yeah.
He's looking out for them in a physical way that they can't look out for themselves. And I think that's a nice balance because it does stop him from just running away with whatever he wants.
Yeah, or just doing whatever he wants when he needs to with the kids.
The droid is on their side.
Sending them out the airlock or whatever it might be.
I only need one of you.
Yeah. But yeah, he's been good. Everything's been good. It's been on point all around. Very surprised, yeah.
Curious how the droids would react when the kids show up and come through the barrier on a ship when ships are not allowed.
Yeah,
would they fire on it? What would happen when they come home?
Do they have weapons? I mean, we don't know.
I think that there are weapons. How do you protect that planet? I mean, the ship originally came in and but the ship crashed there. Yeah. Did it crash because it got shot down?
Well, there are people inside that were stabbed. Remember the one skeleton who had the dagger? Yeah, there was some sort of a mutiny
going on, but
so that's why
the ship crashed.
Yeah, I don't know if it was shot down or...
It could have been. There could be some damage, maybe some firing upon it. You can't imagine that the planet's completely defenseless.
Who knows? That's what the barrier does, though. It keeps everybody out. And if you don't communicate outside, no one's ever going to find it. I don't know. I am curious how much we get explained in this, how many answers we actually get, and how much is kind of left very vague. Because right now, there's a lot of questions I have.
Yeah. Good questions.
And after this episode with explaining how, or why Joe didn't break out, I'm like, okay, maybe they are going to answer our questions.
Good. More for it. Do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's going to be all we got for this time. Now it is our turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you thought of this 3rd episode of Skeleton Crew, and let's talk some Star Wars. And so until next time, thanks for watching.